Heyo, and welcome back to the Boston Sports Brothers podcast, recording here Monday, October 6th. We got the brothers Matulski as well as returning guests, fresh off a stint on 98.5 The Sports Hub with Felger and Mazin, pretty much into the wee hours of the morning stint recapping the Patriots game. It's none other than Mark Dondero joining us once again. Mark, how are you? J-Matt, Big E, good to see you.
What's going on,
Boys, good to see
guys?
you. How are you?
We're doing well.
Fantastic.
We just mentioned we're coming off a great wedding weekend for brother Gabe, who hopefully will be back with us next week. Kraz, here he is, jumping right in. Kraz, we just opened with Mark. Good to see you. How are you, buddy?
Doing well. How about yourself, guys? How's everyone doing? Happy Mondays.
We're
You know,
good.
we're
We're
doing
Crowd.
good.
o- we're doing okay considering that we had a wedding this past weekend and we're not young bucks anymore.
On one leg, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. We're limping into this week, but Dondero's here. We're excited. So, Kraz, we're gonna start Patriots and what's got to be the best win for this team in several years. So much to dive into, so much to talk about. J-Matt, you got the outline nice and pretty for us today, so I'm gonna hand it to you to kick us off with the Pats. Dondero, we certainly want your thoughts in terms of the game and breakdown, and then we'll all chime in. But J-Matt, take it away, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna start us off, and then Dondero, we're gonna go right to you because I want your take on everything, especially because you were up till like you said 3 a.m. last night doing post game, so you were there firsthand. So, first signature win for Drake Maye, his career, in my opinion. The kid has some absolute massive cojones and some moxie that we haven't seen here since, dare we say, Tommy. I mean, I'm not obviously gonna compare the two, but the kid has some intangibles that we really haven't seen since about 6 or 7 years ago at the least. He not only did he manage the game, especially on that last drive when he had to stay in bounds to kind of keep the clock flowing, but he made some incredible throws to Diggs on rolling out of the pocket to the right, and just with that guy draped on him in the fourth quarter to start that drive. That drive starter was absolutely incredible. So the kid really has it, and he really balled out last night. And then like I said before with Diggs too, just that body control for that catch and just you could see he was balling out. That was a big FU game to the Bills and just to kind of like everyone to show that he's not forgotten. He's still elite and he can be elite and he can be that first down guy and 10 catches for 146 and without a doubt is your number one wide receiver. Um, Defense was just absolutely flying around. I said it from the jump in our group chat. Like they looked so different from the week one defense against the Raiders. It's like it's incredible. They had push. They were just ball hawking. They weren't giving up big plays really, even to this team that is really known to get the home run ball. So just all around a great game. And Dondere, I want your take. What do you think of the game last night?
Well, obviously, I mean, like you said, it's a signature win. But it was funny towards the end of the game. I was thinking to myself, win or lose, I didn't feel like I was going to feel any different. Obviously, it was nice that Borregales made that kick to kind of cap off that final drive and that awesome play that May had that you talked about. Josh from May, the guy, the bear draped all over him to Diggs for 12 yards. I mean, that was crazy. But it was almost like the win was irrelevant, even though it wasn't, because of what Drake May was able to do. I'll give you an example. The Indianapolis Colts this year, they look really good. They're 4-1. They're scoring points. They've got a lot of pieces, but that's a completely different situation than what the Patriots are currently immersed in because we know Daniel Jones isn't some transcendent quarterback. Drake May could be. Now we don't know, but I mean, man, he went toe to toe with the NFL MVP. I mean, if you asked me 2 days ago, I would have said that Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the whole league. Better than Mahomes right now, better than Lamar Jackson, certainly better than Justin Herbert. He's the best quarterback in the league right now. And May went toe to toe with him in a road game, like on their turf. I mean, it was unbelievable the way that he managed that game, the way that he made throws, not high school throws, not sideways throws, not little dinkin, doinkin, dunkin, all that stuff. It was big boy, real life NFL throw, like that throw he made to Booty down the sideline on the final drive. Now,
So
obviously, everybody
pretty.
wants to talk about the throw to Diggs with the guy draped on him. That was awesome. But that throw he made to Booty, identifying the cover two, squeezing it in there, perfect timing, perfect velocity, perfect spot, accuracy, all those things. That's a big time NFL
Mhm.
throw. And to do that over and over again against that quarterback in that environment against that team, that's different. Okay. And that was if you want to call it a coming out party or whatever, that was something special. And that is not something that you see all the time. You didn't see anything like that with Mac Jones. You don't see things like that with a lot of guys, even guys that have been accomplished and have won in the playoffs. That was big time. And that now it's things have changed since that
Mhm.
occurred last night. Things are definitely different.
Big E, Sam, jump in, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
guys all really kind of like hit the nail right on the head. It was a super exciting game. It was one for Drake, kind of a coming out party, like you said. All facets really looked good. For me, the biggest thing, like I said, and I talk about this all the time, is consistency. Is, like Mark, as you just said, things have changed. But I want to see that consistency. We're used to that with Tom growing up. Clearly, he's not Tom Brady. He's a great athlete. We have something going here. We can, you know, definitely potentially get a Super Bowl out of this kid, maybe more. So for me, that's the biggest takeaway is I loved everything about the game. Everything that you guys said. It was a competitive game. It was gritty. It was, it was a clean game for the Patriots. Aside from a couple of penalties there, but consistency is really the key takeaway for me in this, and like I mentioned in the previous episode, just seeing growth from Drake Maye each and every game, no matter what the result is, in a positive light, and just to see the team on the sideline kind of get closer and closer. And Mark, you were there, so you can kind of attest to this. Their camaraderie on the side is huge and monumental moving forward with what the identity of this team actually is. So that for me is my biggest key takeaways, Biggie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's clear that they're building, right? And this is something that is what's exciting about where this team is right now. I think if you had asked me 2 weeks ago after the Pittsburgh game, I would have been, very, very dejected. I was
You
at
were
that game
dejected.
and I
I
honestly,
can't believe I paid this much for these shitty.
honestly, I still am kind of dejected about how they played in that game, but I think, and Drake is getting a lot of credit and rightfully so because he balled out in the second half. He was 13 of 14 for 186 yards, something like that. Just like absolutely insane. But I want to give a little bit of credit here to Josh McDaniels. I think Josh McDaniels has been doing a great job this year to put not just Drake, but the offense in a good position week after week. Even against that Pittsburgh game, you know, Josh didn't fumble the ball 4 times, right? Like the play calling was pretty good in that game, regardless of the mistakes that were made. So I do want to give credit to Josh for what we've seen from the offense because the offense looks like a legitimate offense this year compared to what we've seen in years past. And I think the defense maybe isn't getting enough credit for how they played last night as well. To contain Josh Allen, and yes, I know that the weapons on that team aren't necessarily what they have been year in, year out, and they're still kind of figuring out who the guys are behind James Cook, who is clearly a dominant running back. To hold him under 50 yards, that is insane, right?
Hmm.
And to be able to fall on the loose balls. It sounds easy, right? But we haven't seen a defense that's done that consistently for the last couple of years. I think 2 or 3 years ago, the defense was really nasty and the offense really couldn't carry. Now we're kind of seeing a little bit where the defense and the offense are on even playing field, and you can see that the result is transferring through and what we're seeing on the field. So all in all, that's kind of my take here is that this is not a complete team, but we're much more of a complete team than we have been in the past.
Oh, I mean, what a that was like awesome from everybody right there because it really encapsulated the entire game. A few other nuggets just from my personal watch last night. I couldn't even watch Borealis put that field goal up last night. I was just waiting for Tarico to sort of give me the indication whether or not it was through the uprights. You got to give that kid credit. Rookie coming out and banging a 50 plus yarder for the game winner is huge and does a lot for his confidence and the team as well, right? You can trot your kicker out there when you really need it. I also think the Pats, kind of took a punch back from Buffalo. They're up 20 to 10. Buffalo, scores 10 unanswered. That pick from Marcus Jones in the red zone was huge from a momentum standpoint. And he's been a stellar. He also made a stellar play on Keon Coleman, like who's 6 inches taller than him. Gonzalez with two fantastic plays in the fourth quarter to shut things down. So it was complimentary football. A few other nuggets that we that we can dive into. Sean Hockley, and I'd love Dondero if you have any commentary on this fucking clown, because that was the most flag happy and most eccentric refereeing job that I've ever seen. What were your thoughts, Mark?
Stop the play.
I mean, the fact that he ran in, like, why not just blow the whistle? Like, what? I don't understand why you had to run and put your face in the middle of the whole thing. Look, I thought some of the penalties were a little bit unnecessary. It was almost like he enjoyed being part of the show. I don't really care. I mean, Sean Hockley, Ed Hockley, like, go do your push-ups. Just don't be so involved in the game, because I just, especially in a game like that where two teams are going at it, there's two good quarterbacks playing well. Don't get involved. I didn't think they ruined it. But I mean, for crying out loud, I just like a kind of a tool bag behavior. And the fact that we're talking about it is always a negative in these situations.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
never want to talk about the refs, 100%.
No.
Eric, I agree with you though. The defense needs to be they need to be awarded for the game they played last night, because they let up 3 points in the first half and they let up 17 points in the second half. And of those 17 points on one of those drives, we all know, I think they gave up 40 yards on penalties, like in consecutive plays, at least 30 in consecutive plays. So the defense, you really got to give them their kudos, and they really kept them in that game. Um, and if you don't have that defense on the back end, I think Carlton Davis, I know he got beat a few times, but him and Gonzalez, having them back there is just they're incredible. You actually don't even really see the safeties that much. I haven't really seen a whole ton of safety play, to be quite honest. I haven't really, which I think is good, because that means they're not letting up big plays. But I don't know if anyone has a take on that, but like I haven't really noticed them at all, so, which is again a good thing. But defense needs to get their kudos for sure.
One thing with the safety play, I was actually very surprised to not see Kyle Duggar really out there at all yesterday. Because one thing that did happen is they got torched by the tight ends.
Yeah.
Dalton Kincaid had himself a game, and that was Josh Allen's go-to guy. Uh, and so there's still things this team has to clean up. But the biggest thing is they didn't beat themselves. The Vidarian Lowe false start was brutal. The penalties, the late hits on the drive to give up those yards you just mentioned, J Matt, were just, you got to have some more awareness there. But I think with a guy like Vrabel, and got to give Vrabel credit as well, he had the team ready to go into a hostile environment. Last Sunday night football game with their jerseys looked like they belonged on like a traffic cone on the highway. It was like reflectors. Um, but like give the team, this team deserves credit. Now, what can't happen is we go into New Orleans next week and have it be a letdown game. A very beatable opponent, but a team that's coming off a win themselves, and that's my fear. Biggie, do you have the same fear?
They also played Buffalo really well the week before too. So like I think everyone's
Yep.
looking at New Orleans being like, "Oh, this is a cupcake. This is an easy win." It's the NFL. No game is an easy win. So I'm not sitting here being like they are going to absolutely dominate New Orleans. I think it's probably going to be a lot closer than a lot of people expect, just being honest.
Yeah. Know a few people headed down there this weekend. So if you're headed down to New Orleans for that game, have a hurricane at Pat O'Brien's for the bros, and enjoy the scene down there. It's quite a time. Fellas, any final thoughts here on this game versus the Bills, or as we sort of look ahead to the Patriots and the rest of their season? J Matt, I know you sort of said like the win, loss, win, Felger and Maz style, but Certainly the schedule lends itself to
Yep.
this team getting on a good roll here.
I'm thinking 10 plus wins. I had 10 earlier before the Bills win. So I'm thinking maybe even 11 now. I think it's possible. Call me crazy, but I think it's possible. Could be
Cer
we already had this conversation, but could be 4-1,
I mean, the
you
Could
know.
be.
schedule is just it is gettable to say the least. I agree
Yeah.
with Biggie. I don't think it's going to be an easy game in New Orleans. So they're going to have to if they think at all like it's a let up or they can just kind of throw their helmets or roll their helmets out there, they are going to be in trouble. But hey, they had a great game against Carolina. They backed that up with a great game against Buffalo. So hey, I feel like that's two in a row. Let's see if they can do it again. And the one and last thing I'll just say about Drake Maye, I feel like because he was the story for me in that game. His Diggs was awesome. The defense, sure, he was the story. I feel like Drake Maye had established himself as even before that game as a bona fide NFL quarterback. He was going to be an NFL quarterback. He wasn't going to be out of the league. Andy Dalton, Kirk Cousins, guys, something like that. Last night took him into a different stratosphere. Now it's talking about, okay, could he be the next star? Could he be the next superstar based on what we saw last night? So he sort of emerged into a different category after that performance.
Sure is a joy when you have somebody named Josh McDaniels as his offensive coordinator and you're not dinking around with Matt Patricia or Alex Van Pelt and incompetency from the coaching standpoint. So credit to McDaniels and the coaching staff. Drake May, looking to get into that top 10 quarterback conversation and with the schedule they have ahead of them, the chance to do it. One final note, Antonio Gibson goes down, tears his ACL. So you got to think that this team is looking on the trade block or the waiver wire at a running back. I've seen some things out there today to bring back Ezekiel Elliott. I have no, eh, like that's my sort of feeling on
Depth
him,
is
but
depth.
I don't know who else is out there. Sam, you know anybody? You know anybody
There's
No,
that could?
there's a bunch of guys out there.
So
Eric, Big E, let him out.
I mean, Zach Moss is out there, who's not that old. You have Jamal Williams, who's 30 years old, who was an NFL starting running back for a period of time. There are some guys that are out there. And then you also have Terrell Jennings on the practice squad, who's that's most likely what's going to get happen is he's going to get called up from the practice squad. It seems like Vrabel very much is a guy that likes to, promote from within. Um, the other thing to look for too is maybe someone like a Justice Hill on Baltimore, if they continue to slide, he's getting paid $6 million across 2 years. And if that team is not going to go far because of all the injuries they have, you might be able to get someone like him to be able to come in because he's a nice change of pace back. That would be a nice little complement to the room that they have right now, too. So I think there are some guys out there, but none of them really are like crazy names at this point. But we'll see what happens.
Someone who doesn't fumble.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah, please,
Dondero took the
please.
words out of my mouth. I was going to say, as long as they don't fumble the ball, Patriots do not fumble an opportunity going into Buffalo, pull off win of the season so far for sure. They look to keep the good times rolling into next weekend in New Orleans. Unfortunately, a team who had the good times stop rolling for them this past week was our beloved Boston Red Sox. We haven't had an opportunity to come together and sort of talk about the end of that Yankees playoff series there in the wild card. A disappointing end for the team, but an overall encouraging season for the team and one that I hope that they can build off of. But Kraz, sort of give us your Red Sox 2025 final season sort of recap, and certainly we'll touch on the game as well, and a little bit on the offseason and looking ahead. Take it away, Chris.
I will, I will. I'm gonna give them an overall score of a B to a B plus. The team obviously exceeded expectations. They lost to the Yankees 1-2 in the wild card series. Um, we were talking about it at the wedding. I don't like the format of the way that all three home games, and we can go into this later, all three home games are, I mean, all three games are played at, one stadium. It just takes it up a notch when you have, Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park. So, that kind of sucked. The team finished third in the AL East, 89 and 73, a winning season. They finished 3 games above their line, which was 86 and a half, like I spoke about last week. Really, the one thing I wanted to kind of just touch on, and I'll get everyone's opinion about it, was Coro was really righty heavy as opposed to balancing out the lineup, and I understand where he's coming from with who was on the mound, but at the same time, you're taking, Willie Abreu and you're taking Matasaka Yoshida out of the lineup, which are arguably two of your best hitters. And that just for me was a big head scratcher. I don't want to say that was gonna make or break the this the series. It could have. I mean, we were up 1 game, so all we really needed to do was win, one other one. But again, them coming in late, they're gonna swing for the fences because they're not really thinking about passing the baton on. They just they want to make a one swing of the bat kind of move and change the outcome of the game. Obviously Giolito going down doesn't help us at all. That really sucks. People can say what they want about him, but the Red Sox would not have been in this position if he didn't have the season that he had,
Very
and
true.
he had a hell of a season. But they are expected to part ways at the end of the year. So again, for me, the biggest thing with the offseason really is getting Roman Anthony healthy, figuring out what to do with Bregman because Scott Boras is his agent, and Scott Boras is one of the biggest assholes, as we all know, and getting that number two reliever and some obviously you always need bullpen depth. So anyone
I
chime in?
yeah, I want to talk about the Yankees series real quick.
Yeah,
I think it was unfortunate. Um, I do think that they blew the game in that second game with all the blunders they made with a lot of the errors, the running errors. Just they really threw that
Darren
game
Duran.
away. Jaron
hmm
Duran, I
not
think he's
catching
way
well. Yeah,
overrated. I would not be
he's
sad to
on the
see him
chopping
go this
block.
offseason. He's not in the spots, the clutch spots. He just doesn't come up with those clutch hits like what you need to see. So, they lost in game two because Schlittler in game three was just
Oh,
that kid just threw out of his threw was just incredible, like 100 miles an hour, 101 consistently, and the Red Sox were swinging out of their ass. They were swinging at everything. They weren't really trying to work the count. They were just kind of just going up there and trying to put the bat on the ball because that's really what you only can do against a guy who throws 100. It's tough to hit against that guy. So I think that they were kind of screwed in game three no matter what, just because the kid he just had a lights out game. But unfortunate, but they definitely threw it away in game two.
Dondero, just what were your thoughts on the Red Sox, the season that was for the team, obviously getting to the playoffs and then, the disappointment being up 1-0 against the Yankees and then losing the series.
I thought it was a successful season. Um, I thought the biggest thing that happened this year was the acquisition of Garrett Crochet and Alex Bregman. You sort of re-entered the chat, so to speak, in terms of actually going out and getting higher end talent, and that's what it's about. Remind me, who was the one or who were the group of players that were responsible for that playoff win that they had? Do you guys remember? Because I can't remember. Who were the guys that came up big in that game one win?
It was
Who
Crochet
was
was
it?
great and
Oh yeah,
Yoshida had a
Crochet,
hit.
The pig.
Yoshida.
Yoshida. Who was another one? Did Bregman have an RBI in that one? I
Oh
forget.
yeah.
And
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Oh yeah.
did.
yeah,
He
okay.
had one down the
So
left field line.
So you have Crochet. Now I know like, it's been up and down for Masataka Yoshida, but still a big name, big high price, whatever you want to call them, sort of acquisition from a few years
hmm
ago. Chapman, not as high price, but still a bigger name that's been around. Those are the guys that helped deliver the win. Bregman, Crochet, Yoshida. It was a successful season because they were able to get a guy like Crochet that stabilized the rotation. They got back into the playoffs, but they got what they deserved. That's what they deserved. And the season ultimately came down to you traded Rafael Devers and got Bupkis for him. Not good enough. And they didn't have enough. Okay, when you rely, and it was a great stretch in July. I was buying in like everyone else with what Rafaela was doing. But Rafaela is only so good, especially offensively. And when you got Romy Gonzalez and guys like Rob Refschneider and Abraham Toro and all these other pieces they're good players. Some of them they like to, what do they call them? Platoon players. Those are all fine and dandy type of guys, but you need the horses. You need the baseball is a finicky game. You come, you go, you slump, you're hot. Like you got to have guys who are so good that in the playoffs, even if they're slumping. I mean, I remember Manny Ramirez used to say, you're a bad man when you're in a slump and you still get hits. That's what it's all about. Like that's why they were so good back then because Manny, even when he was slumping, was still productive. When Cedar Rafaela slumps, or when Jaron Duran slumps, it's ugly. They don't get hits. There are no hits. It's nothing. And then you're just not good enough. And then what you're doing is you're hoping and crossing your fingers that somebody is going to catch fire during a playoff run, like Rafaela did in July, in early July, mid-July there. You need that in October. They didn't get it. They don't have enough guys who are studs, who are horses. And then, the offense dries up. You make one mistake, you have one error, then you have to play perfect baseball, which we know this team didn't do. They have base running blunders. They make errors. It's not great defensively in terms of what they were able to do this year. So then there's just a lot of things that you're trying to make up for, and you don't have a lot of room for error. So they did well getting that, a couple of pieces that sort of put them back on track, put them back in the playoffs. But if you're talking about getting to the World Series and winning at the highest level, they didn't have enough. And you can't trade your best player and get nothing in the middle of the season. Nothing. That was unacceptable.
Yeah,
So Mark, you don't
go
even
ahead.
think that the freeing up that money that the Red Sox did end up spending on Rafael Devers and allocating that to Roman Anthony and potentially someone else in the offseason could maybe mitigate that loss with San Francisco?
Sure, it could. I mean, obviously, I like Roman Anthony a lot. I love Roman Anthony.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's devastating he wasn't there because I would have liked to have seen them at full strength with him in the lineup. But again, like I wanted Devers and Anthony to be together.
Mhm.
And money shouldn't be a consideration. You're the Red Sox. It's John Henry. You got the money. You know what it takes. Do what it takes. And they weren't doing. They did it a little bit more this year, a little bit, but they didn't want to do everything necessary to try to win. And now we're hearing Sam Kennedy talk about. Well, I forget exactly what his quote is. Something like, "We're going to do what it takes to stay in October." Well, you're going to stay in
They're very
October.
coy.
You try to
They
win
were
the
very
World Series.
coy. They were very coy today about
Yeah.
him and Craig Breslow. Craig Breslow was really just he was shying away from, talking about Trevor Story and Alex Bregman, who are just two pivotal guys that really are the cornerstones of the franchise. And I'm not gonna use sickness as an excuse, but them being sick obviously really didn't help at all. It really around that time, everyone in Boston really was getting the bug. So that clearly didn't help, but at the same time, like we were talking about, those are the type of guys, those are the studs that you need, and you need someone behind him you need someone behind Bregman to protect him as well. And you can't have, I was telling the guys, they were way too righty heavy. I mean, it was Ref Snyder, like you said, leading off, which he shouldn't be leading off. And then you have Bregman, you have Story, you have Romy Gonzalez. It's like, what are we doing here? Why is Romy Gonzalez your cleanup hitter? I mean, he's a great hitter, don't get me wrong, but like you get it, she's a streaky guy. That's what needs to change. I think, in my opinion, they need to get another solidified hitter. They need to, make sure Bregman stays with us, keep Story here, get Roman Anthony healthy, and they really need a number two behind him. And I think this team really is on the path for success. And John Henry needs to open up that wallet because you're right, they do have the money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's what it's
think
about. You get the horses.
yeah, a couple quick thoughts. Like I think got to give Breslow for getting some of those guys in the offseason, but I think
Of
Breslow also
course.
deserves some blame too for not bringing up the right rookie at the beginning of the year. Christian Campbell, I appreciate the fact they tried and he moved up so fast through the minor leagues last year. But this team could have been in a much better position if Roman Anthony was the player that they brought up at
Mhm.
the beginning of the season. Instead of them
100%.
finishing at 89 and 73, maybe that's an additional 3, 4, 5 wins, and you're talking about winning the AL East and then getting home field advantage, and so you don't have to go play in New York. I also don't want to blame Alex Cora because Alex Cora, for all the things that didn't go right in those series, he's not the one that absolutely botched a bunt like Sedane Rafaela did.
Ugh.
He's not the one who dropped fly balls
multiple
like
times
Jaron Duran did.
throughout
You
the
know,
season.
in that game too, they should have absolutely won. They
Yep.
should have wrapped up the series in 2 games.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I think it's revisionist history to sit here and be like, oh well, Cora did was too righty heavy. Yeah, I mean he was righty heavy. I'm not gonna say that he wasn't, but it almost worked. So I would say he's not the problem. I actually look at Breslow as being more the problem, and I know that Devers being moved wasn't necessarily his decision. That was an ownership decision, but got to try and get something for him because I'm telling you, as much as I hated on Devers, and I was one of the people that loved the move when they made it because I thought it was addition by subtraction. He would have helped in this series, right? He's a big bat. He's a guy who plays well, especially against the Yankees. So, and the jury's still out. I know they spent the money on Roman Anthony. Jury's still out. Are they going to spend the money in the offseason? Because recent history has shown that that is not always the case. So I'm let me see it first before I actually believe it. But it was a tale of two seasons. The first half sucked. The second half was electric. I hope we see more of what the second half was because I think that's what this team can be. But it's going to really depend on what Breslow does in the offseason.
I hope this team realized what you just said, Biggie. The second half and the vibe, if you will, around Fenway Park and the team changed, and the Red Sox became the talk of the town, and they took back Boston for a little bit. And when baseball's ripping in Boston, there's nothing quite like it. They got to go prove it this offseason, undoubtedly. You do look at the roster. You did have a shitload of pitchers that were down. Tanner Houck, Hunter Dobbins, Cutter Crawford. Lucas Giolito. The list goes on
Dick
and on.
Fitz.
Dick Fitz. Can't forget about our buddy Dick Fitz, baby. Uh,
Electric.
but the same thing. Roman Anthony down. They made a grave
There.
error with Devers in the offseason and that communication that led to what it led to. And looking it back, hindsight's 2020. If you fucking just put Bregman at second base and let the fatty go ahead and play third base, what you could have had was quite a lineup going into this series against the Yankees. But it is what it is. This is where this team ends up. Pretty much where they sort of belonged. A team that makes a first round exit. Now, the Yankees and the rest of the MLB playoffs will do a deeper dive on that as the ALCS and NLCS will set themselves up next weekend.
And
Um,
how deep are the Yankees are going to be going, but
Not looking too
Da-
hot right now.
Down 2-0. Huh.
So Aaron Judge looks back to playoff Aaron Judge, and we'll see what happens here.
he's back in postseason form.
Exactly. Yeah. Postseason form. But in the interest of time and keeping the show on the road, and Dondero, who's been on a 24-hour sports binge essentially the past day or so, we want to get him out of here with this. Dondero, just any thoughts off the top in terms of the winter sports teams in the Bruins or Celtics or both in terms of what you're looking forward to with both of their seasons on the horizon? That's question number one. And then question number two, where can all the fine listeners follow you and anything you want to plug or anything that's coming up for you over the next couple of weeks or into 2026?
I mean, if you could give me something to look forward to for the Bruins, I'd appreciate that. I don't. I mean, Cam Neely on Monday was talking about we're probably going to be a team that needs to play elite defense. Hey, I respect the strong defensive team. It doesn't sound like they're going to be a whole lot of fun to watch. It doesn't sound like they have a lot of high expectations down there. We'll see what happens. I fear that their window is closed. I don't like what I hear from Jeremy Swayman and just the cut of his jib. Yeah, it's a tough scene. I feel like, especially when you consider, and the biggest thing, guys, look, I don't want to call for, you don't like to call for people's job. I just thought after last year, it was the perfect opportunity to move on to some new leadership. I just think that Don Sweeney
Bye,
has not
Don.
done well drafting. He has not done well enough drafting. And I think this was the time to kind of reassert yourself in the draft. They were right when they fired Jim Montgomery. That was it for me. That was a complete panic move. It didn't make the timing made no sense. That was the end of the line for this group. Maybe you let them do this, finish the season. that was the end of the line for me, at least with Don Sweeney. I don't know why they brought him back. He has not been good doing what they need to do. And as a result, I just don't have a lot of high expectations. Maybe they'll be gritty. Maybe they'll be able to, maybe something will surprise us and they can pull out a couple wins, 2-1, 1-0, or whatever. I just don't really feel like there's a lot there to get too jacked up about. And with Tatum and the Celtics, bring him back. If he's ready to come back, bring him back. He gets hurt in May. If he's ready by the All-Star break, I don't understand. There is no question about this team. Are they going to be good? Of course they're going to be good. Their floor is what we saw from the Bridgie Celtics with Isaiah Thomas. They're going to be good. But if Tatum's ready, bring him back. Ease him back until the playoffs and see what happens. I don't understand why this is a discussion. If he's
Agreed.
coming along that quickly, why would you just have him sit out? You don't know how long his window will last. Bring him back.
The freaking Indiana Pacers made the finals last year. Like it's not,
Right.
if you're doing well and you got the best player, one of the best players in the league, like bring him back. It's a no-brainer.
And they never should have lost it. I mean, they should have had the lead in that series to the Knicks. It was a weird, wild thing. They lost those 2 leads at home. I'm not saying rush him back, or if he's really not ready, but if he's ready and he's ahead of schedule by the All-Star break, I mean, that's what, 5 months from now? Whatever it is, 4 or 5 months from now, they bring him back.
Yep.
Yeah.
6 months from, I don't even know. So
We-
you got to find a way to make the right decision there if you're the Celtics. That's all.
We've been banging on the table that March is that timeline just based on everything that we've seen with Tatum. The Celtics look to, sort of keep that going. And I think the biggest thing, I mentioned this on a previous episode, is who on this team is going to be those 3 or 4 players that becomes the nucleus of this roster. Porzingis gone, Holiday gone. Those are 2 of your starters. Al
Luke
Horford looking
Cornett.
weird as shit in a Warriors uniform. Cornette getting dunked on by Wemby in practice. I don't know if anybody saw that. Some good stuff
anyone
coming
would
up.
get dunked on by Wemby for the most part. So.
Very, very true on that. Dondero, where can the fine folks follow you and anything you want to plug before you get out of here?
Oh yeah, I mean, my Twitter is usually where to go at Mark Dondero, and check out the Patriots post game show. I'll be on there for the rest of the season after games. 98.5.
Always.
It's
Love it.
electric. It's
Always
electric.
love
I've been
listening.
listening every week.
Boys. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it,
Always a
Dondero. Take
pleasure.
care.
Hey,
We'll see you
Thanks,
down
Mark.
the
Have a
line.
great night,
Mark.
right?
See you guys. Good to be with you. Take care.
Appreciate
too.
it.
All right.
All right.
We'll
Anybody want to roll into any Bruins any last second Bruins thought or
So
Yeah,
I
we'll
think,
do-
yeah, I think personally, like Dondero said, one of the most exciting parts of this season. I think it might be watching Zdeno Chara's number get raised to the rafters, to be quite honest, because it could be a really ugly season. I mean, I honestly don't, I really don't have much expectations for this team, which is sad because I really love the Bruins, but I just don't know. New head coach. Defense was really shaky last year. Again, I don't know. What do you guys think is going to happen this year?
I think my only thing about the Chara thing that I think would have been better is if they had retired the jersey against the Canucks. I just think that would be the icing on the cake. And I saw that it's against the Kraken. Like, who cares? It's the Kraken. Like, or if it was the Senators, a team that actually means something to him, I think that would
Montreal.
Montreal, like, yeah, like that would have been cool. So like that's my only knock against when he's getting retired. Obviously, such a huge honor for him and being the captain of this team for so long. It's a great thing. The product on the ice this year is going to suck, and there's no ifs ands about it. It's a development year. It's seeing who you have that you can ride with going forwards. And I think that's the interesting juxtaposition between the Bruins and the Celtics this year is it's a development year for both of them, but one of them has the players to get to the next level, and the other one is lacking in those players. So for the Bruins, I hate to say it's a wasted season for a Charlie McAvoy and a David Pastrnak, but it's a wasted season. You don't have enough juice around those guys. At least with a Jaylen Brown, a Derek White, a Jason Tatum, a Peyton Pritchard, like you're going to see who are going to be the guys that fill the margins around those guys that can help lift them on up. There's certainly not enough on the Bruins to help lift on up the rest of that squad.
No doubt. I'm interested in the Bruins and just seeing what Marco Sturm can do. Does a new voice for this team, a former player that has a relationship, can he Mike Vrabel-esque sort of come in with a roster that maybe doesn't look so hot when you look at it on paper, but does have some undeniable talent. Can he tap into that and it's that secondary level of players who's going to step up and be able to help the Bruins on the ice. In terms of Big Z getting his number retired, absolutely deserved to be up there. It was a shame that he couldn't win one more than one cup while he was with the Bruins. Really should have had two.
Hmm.
Nothing more legendary than that performance where he breaks the jaw and still comes out and plays in those
Oh,
games. Um, if they had won the cup, that would be talked about in Bruins lore for years and years and years, and still should be, to be quite
It
honest.
should absolutely should be because that is
yeah.
just like it's just like how we all talk about Greg Campbell, like with him playing with that broken leg, that shift, like that is stuff of legends. Like, and that is, I think, one thing that is so unique to hockey. Like that doesn't happen in any other sport. And like, listen, football is a very physical sport too, but you don't see guys going out there with their legs shattered, staying on the field because the play is happening. So. Yeah, big props to Big Z because just one of the best to ever do it.
Undoubtedly. Bruins kick off the season this Wednesday, October 8th, 7:30 p.m. national game on TNT against the Washington Capitals, an all-time leading goal scorer in the NHL, Ovechkin. So, uh, it'll be great to have the black and gold back on the ice. They do have some sweet unis going into this year, so it'll be nice to see the fellas flying around. Any Celtics wrap-up thoughts, boys? Training camp really underway now. First preseason games coming up this week. Interested to see what rotations look like for this team. Who's the starting five this year? Who's going to make their mark off the bench? Sort of open season here on the Celtics. Anybody feel free to chime in.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the first, I feel like the top three guys we already know, are one, two, and three. As far as, Peyton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, and Anthony Simmons, I don't think
Derek
Anthony
White,
Simmons. Oh, and Dark Wait, I'm sorry. Those four
holy
guys.
crap!
I'm sorry. It's
We're
been a
coming
long
off
day.
the
All right.
wedding weekend. The Braves aren't.
I forgive you. I
I
forgive
had
you.
class all day.
You are forgiven.
All right. So I mean, we have four guys. I really don't. It's tough because you do have four guys that, well, obviously Peyton Pritchard's much shorter than the other guys, but you do have three guys that are kind of similar in size. So it is going to be kind of interesting what they're going to do. More so front court questions for me is the biggest thing because there's no one that's really quote unquote solidified in that front court position. So for me, that's what I like to see.
Huge development year for Neemias Queta. He
I agree.
if he doesn't develop this year, they're not going to go anywhere because I
Hmm.
think that's a huge expectation is for him to be something because like we got rid of Cornette, you got rid of Al. You're going to need something out of him. So expect a pretty hopefully a potential breakout season for him.
They're
I don't
they're
know if it's
putting
going to
a
be him
lot of
that breaks out.
eggs, a lot of
I
eggs
don't
in
know
the
if it,
Cada basket. Go ahead,
but I don't
Brendan.
know if it's going to be Keita that's the one that breaks out. It could be Chris Boucher, or it could be Luca Garza. Like it just needs to be someone who steps up. And I think between those three guys, you're going to have at least one guy that is going to step up and be a piece that's here for the long term. I mean, I hope it's Keita because I think we've all seen glimpses, and he's flashed at times.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of can he do it consistently.
I'm just,
Chris,
you're giving up so many rebounds with the people you lost, so he has to be something. He just has to be.
I mean, he's gonna play because there's no other there's only so many
Yeah.
bodies. But I think someone like Luka Garza, who is buried in Minnesota, and rightfully so, because there were so many good big men on that team for so
Hmm.
long. Maybe he's got something that's in the tank. I think everyone forgets Luke Cornett, who was a huge piece on this team for the last 2, 3 seasons. He was a G League player, right? He was a guy that bounced around the league. Just because a guy doesn't have the stats early in their career doesn't mean that they can't do something later on. So I'm a little bit bullish on Luka Garza. I think he's someone who could be someone that no one's really talking about that could be quite impressive. And I know Chris Boucher can do well. I've seen him on the Raptors. He's someone that can be pesky. He's not a super tall dude. He's 6'9", but he's lanky and he's always in the mix. So he was one of those guys consistently when he was on the Raptors. I would say he was a Celtics killer. So I'm excited to have him on the squad. And I'm just excited to see who emerges from the front court. And also not from the front court, but who are the wings that come on out? Shireman's going to have another year in the league. We know that he can shoot the three. Does he end up becoming one of those guys off the bench that becomes reliable? We are, and the guy that no one is talking about too, that I just want to shine a little bit of a light on too, is Sam Hauser. He was a guy that everyone talked that he was going to be shipped out. I think Sam Hauser is going to be a huge piece for this team. Whether he's starting or he's a six man, he is going to be playing big time minutes, and he deserves it just based on what he's been able to do. He's also not talked about as a defender.
Yeah, sneaky good.
His defense is much better than people give him credit for. So I'm very much looking forward to Sam Hauser getting a big opportunity this year too.
No
Don't forget
doubt.
Jordan Walsh. He needs a potential year too because he's young, but he's been in the league for what, a few years now, so
Third
it's time
year.
for him to show something.
Third
Again, it's
year
Yeah.
for
still that number
Walsh.
five position that really is gonna kind of make or break the Celtics.
But
Undoubtedly.
I still like the fact that like Tatum is going to be out, hopefully not the whole year, but at least a good portion of the year. It's going to give a lot of these guys time to actually see what they got. So when he does come back, people slide into where they actually should be in the rotation. And, you know, I'm hopeful that we got some pieces here for the long term.
And not
Yeah,
only that, but you get a legitimate top five player coming back to your team. And that, like I said in the previous episode, if you're a five, four, or fifth seed going into the playoffs, the Celtics, especially with Tatum, is not a team you're going to want to face.
What if one of these guys breaks out too, and you can have some trade bait going into the offseason if when Tatum comes back? Like no one's even thought about that too. You're gonna need some big men going into next year probably. So see
Hmm.
what you got. If you can trade someone when you get Tatum back, why not?
it's going to be
Agreed.
a fascinating season for the Celtics because you really haven't seen something like this in quite some time. Tatum being ahead of schedule makes it all that much more exciting as you head in and think that you will have him back around that All-Star break time period that we've been talking about. One thing with the Celtics and the big men, you got to look back. Cornette, they developed into a great player, but before him, Daniel Tice, they were able to get something out
Hmm.
of even a guy like Ennis Cantor at one point in time. The
Freedom.
you go back to Brad
Taco
Stevens,
Fall.
Taco Fall coming in. You had fucking Jared Sullinger. Like the Celtics do have this system with
Time
Brad
Lord.
Stevens. Time Lord just couldn't stay healthy. What could have been? I
Len
actually think
Davis.
He was
Kata.
late. He was late to his own press conference.
Kata could be a Rob Williams light, if you will, if he's able to improve on the offensive end and defensively get his timing down. So, great, fascinating season for the Celtics on the horizon. Preseason games, I believe, kick off Wednesday or
Wednesday,
Thursday this week. So it's
10-8.
crazy. We're at that point of the year where there's something on the TV screen pretty much every night. October's a great month on the sports calendar. And Jason Tatum coming back is going to be like that shot in the ass that Gabe gave to Big John. So uh,
Speaking
with
of.
that with that being said, one thing, this is a bit of a rewind. Big John had a great comment as well. Sam, back to baseball in this wild card series. The Even though if the games are all played in one team stadium, the team that is the away team should be allowed to be the home team in game number two. Like you get the home advantage and at last at bats. You might not get a game in your stadium, but you at least should get that. Like that's bullshit that you're the away team for three straight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and you don't get the last final three outs. No, I do agree with Big J on that one.
You know what I would say is get a better record and you can play at home. So, quit whining
Well,
and just be the better team.
you know what I'm gonna say?
Stealing game one that is good for something though. It should be at least.
There's no whining here.
Oh, I'm not.
There's
And I'm not
expect.
talking. I'm not talking about the Red Sox. I'm just talking about in general with the format of the wild card series. So this is not anything to do with the Red Sox. I would just say to any team that's in the wild card series, just do better, and then you don't have to deal with it.
very true.
I still think it's stupid, but either way.
Yeah, agreed.
It's yeah. Well, I like it. I like that there's a legit series as opposed to just the one game. The one game is stupid. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
baseball. A
yeah.
series
No,
is what defines the entire
I
baseball
yeah.
mean,
season.
We kind of wished it was one game this year. The Sox would be in the ALDS.
Yeah,
It's
they would
true.
have been, but so it goes, so it goes. And right now, so it goes to our favorite time of the week, Big E. Take it away, buddy.
Oh, oh my goodness. It is my favorite time of the week. And what after such an epic weekend, it is the best time to talk about the things. Sometimes there are things that we just don't like. The things that, ugh, ugh, that I just hate and the things that make me go, yeah, oh, like get out of here. Like F off, all right? And they're the things that are stupendous, the things that are wondrous, the things that make me want to get up out of my bed in the morning and scream, "Oh yeah!" All right. Who's got an oh yeah or a yeah oh this week?
Can we start with the of I just saw this there's a LeBron James
Oh,
decision number two.
Didn't he learn his
Are
lesson?
are we for real? He's gonna sit there and we're gonna learn tonight at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that he's going to retire this year. I
no,
don't
we're
give a
not.
fuck when he retires. He just wants more attention and he just wants a fucking parade around him. LeBron James is one of the biggest crybabies that I've ever seen. He is not that talented. He's a fucking stat packer that is an athletic freak that was just very lucky that he did not get injured throughout his career. End
Are
He
of
we
loves
sure
to
he's
be
story.
in the
retiring?
Don't
loves to
change
be
my
in the
Are
mind.
No.
spotlight.
are we sure he's retiring? Because I
No.
don't think that I'm 100% positive that he's retiring.
I'm just
This-
saying that's my theory about
No,
what the decision
I
is tonight.
I don't even think it's your theory, Sam. I think that's the prevailing theory of like what everyone thinks is out there. I'm just not sure on what's going to happen with that. I just think it's stupid that he's doing something called the decision too. He
What
even
else would he?
said Well, no, he even said after he did it the first time that it was one of the biggest mistakes that he could have done. So like I just don't understand why you would go back and do that again. Just say, "Hey, I'm going to
But
retire," or don't say it and actually play and go off into the sunset like a normal person would.
But why would? But he's not a normal person. That's the whole thing. He's fucking LeBum James. Why would he? Why would he switch teams when his whole MO, his whole entire career has been to play with his kid since he had a kid?
He's not
Well,
switching teams.
well,
He's not switching teams.
maybe
No.
if his son Bryce, who I think is at Arizona this year, is that correct, or is that
Who's
next year?
actually? Yeah, he's at Arizona,
Who's
and he's
who's
actually Bryce is
actually good?
way more
Who's
athletic.
actually good?
Way more athletic.
Maybe LeBron is just saying that maybe this will be his last year with the Lakers, and he'll go wherever his son gets drafted next year because he'll play for the kid.
And then Bronny obviously will just get cut because he sucks.
Sounds like
And
uh,
nepotism.
Fellas, this
just
has
like
nothing to do with retirement whatsoever. I'm telling you right now,
No.
tomorrow is Amazon Prime Day, and Mr. LeBron
I saw
had
that
that
too.
press conference earlier in the summer where he said, "What's next? What's next?"
It's
And
gonna be
I'm
like a
telling you,
shoe or
Jeff
something.
Jeff
Like
Bezos just took a fucking Brinks truck, backed it up to LeBron's house, and said, "Here's a fat bag of money for you to do a commercial for Prime Day." And it's going to be called The Decision 2. We're going to get everybody's panties in a bunch on the socials the day before. And then we're going to come out and tell you that 50% off,
it's gonna be like,
LeBron's new fucking shoe.
what's your decision on Prime Day or something like
Yeah,
that?
Oh,
And
exactly.
I'm not gonna fucking watch it.
Exactly.
I
I
love that
refuse
take,
to watch
Blondie.
it. I
I
will
love
not
that
watch
take.
it.
I cannot wait to cut this clip when this happens.
Oh, count on it. Fucking put it in the books right now at 8:57 p.m. as we're recording on Monday, October 6th. It is an Amazon Prime commercial, and LeBron, fuck you. Okay, on to the next. Yeah, let's just do the yeah ohs because we got to end on the oh yeah of
Yeah.
the
Mark
weekend
Sanchez,
for
I do know
sure.
a little bit about, so I can answer
Yeah,
that if you want.
Kraz,
Yeah, what the
set
heck
All
the
is
right,
going
scene on
on?
so
that
here's the
because that's
deal.
a
So
wild
he
story.
was belligerently drunk. He was walking through, he like left a bar. He was walking like through a back alley trying to find his Uber, his Lyft, whatever it was. And he thought he found it, but it was a restaurant worker's car. And the restaurant, and like he tried getting into the car, and the restaurant worker was actually outside bringing out trash and was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of my car. And Mark Sanchez just started attacking him. So the dude pulled out a knife, like any rational person would if they were carrying a weapon to defend themselves and they were being attacked by someone that's, I don't know, let's see, 8 inches and 150 pounds bigger than they are. Yeah, you're gonna take something out to defend yourself. So Mark Sanchez gets fucking stabbed however many times, but the biggest caveat is the pictures of this gentleman that is in the hospital right now because he's got a gash from cheek through his tongue, and it currently is filing a lawsuit against Mark Sanchez. So, oh yeah, to Mark Sanchez for being a fucking idiot, but
Yao,
it doesn't
Yeah,
yao,
oh,
surprise
yeah,
me
yeah,
because
yeah,
he's
yeah,
on
yao,
the
yao,
Jets.
yao,
Oh yeah,
yao.
oh sorry, I don't know.
yeah.
I get the two confused. I'm
Oh.
dyslexic at times.
Hey, listen,
Uh,
I just thought the guy said, "Hey, you're a butt fumbler," and that's what caused the whole thing. But
That would have been great, right? Hey, you
the
fucking
the
suck and play for the Jets.
the thing is
Jets, suck, suck, suck.
that's right. I got a great shirt with that saying right on it. But the thing is about Mark Sanchez is you just ruined your entire fucking career, buddy. Like what
Oh, you're going to jail.
your worst, your worst moment was known as a comedic, Sports Center not top 10 play of the year for years on years on years end.
And now
And
he's a felon.
right. And you
Yeah.
just ruined a fantastic media career that he had, and that he parlayed it all into. And yeah, he's gonna be behind bars or shelling out
Those are some
a
serious
good amount of
charges.
money to
Yeah.
get
oh,
Serious,
himself off.
serious
So
charges.
he might not go behind bars, but he's gonna have to pay off this dude a lot.
I
So,
don't know, man. The
oh, I
aggravated
mean,
bodily assault, I really don't know.
he's probably going behind bars, but I
Yeah.
mean, we'll see if
oh,
if he gives him enough money, maybe the guy will drop the
Settle, yeah,
charges.
Yeah.
settlements and stuff like that, but I don't know how
But his
much he's.
career is over regardless.
100%.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know
And
whose
who
career
knows
is
how much he's
most
made.
likely going
oh
to be
yeah.
over very, very shortly? Mr. One Bill Belichick at UNC because that
Oh,
is a yao for the ages. They suck, man. The UNC is just not good, not good football. The team is really terrible. They're going up against what I'm not even sure who they're going up for the next fucking games, but they're probably going to lose it. So, Bill, terrible look. Also, what the UNC like staff, the social media, how they're not allowed to like tweet about Drake Maye doing incredible things for the Patriots. That's just Bush League and like, come on, dude.
oh,
Like,
they
what
did
are
last
you,
night. Don't worry, there was
he's
too much
acting like a
backlash.
2-year-old. It's like it's just come on, man. Get
There
over
was too
It's
yourself.
much. There was too much backlash against them that they had to put stuff out today because they're like, "Oh, Drake May, the best quarterback to ever come out of our school." Oh, and we can't even post socials of him being nasty on Sunday Night Football. Bill, like, stop. It's just ridiculous. Swallow your pride. If you swallowed your pride and like that, like to me, that is petty. That is the level of just like that's not needed.
Childish.
And
I
and really quick, Evan and I were talking about it over the weekend, and he was like, well, what are your thoughts about Belichick? And I was like, you know, the first year it's tough because you're in the NIL and you're not an established program, and you're not saying to the kid, oh hey, I'll give you $2.1 million to come and play for me. It's things are a little bit different, and he needs to kind of get adjusted to that. But nah, Bill's not. He got lucky. Let's just put it that way.
it's it,
I'm just gonna make it really nice.
I hope there's no way that this makes its way to him, but this is somebody within his circle needs to tell him like what you've done and what you're going to be remembered for is without Tom Brady as your quarterback, you were an epic failure. And
And a
somebody,
sour little bitch.
correct, and somebody who could not put their own, ego, own way of having to do things aside in spite of everything else. And he is going to be remembered now as a failure. I mean, after Tom Brady and what happened with the Patriots, what he's doing at North Carolina, the sideshow with Jordan and all of that. It's just he's gotten to a point where the seesaw has officially gone all the way to the other side of you had all this built up good grace, credit, if you will, and now you've just torn that all down for what? Like for what? That's what makes no sense about any of this when it comes to Belichick. Like, what
Ego.
are you proving other
Ego.
than sucking your own dick? Like,
Yep.
All right,
what
That
are
and
you
guys.
doing?
and a
I want to
tight.
pull it back. I want to pull it back a little bit because, like, Belichick was very much responsible for the
Was.
first three. For the first three championships that this team did get. And yes, Brady obviously played a role in that as well. But Brady was much
He's
bigger part
not
in the last.
tackling anyone out there.
It's
Come on.
No,
this
but
isn't This isn't open
No,
heart surgery now,
hey,
Eric.
listen, hey, listen, hey, listen. I'm just not saying that like he didn't do anything. It's he did do stuff while he was
He
here,
gave the
No,
but
Patriots an
but
nobody's
I
identity.
nobody's discounting that. What I'm discounting is that he
How much he's fallen
is
off a
not
cliff.
going to be
Yes.
remembered for that because of what he's done
No.
recently. That we all will remember what he did because of how we grew up and being around these parts. But on a national scale, he's going to be
Yeah.
remembered for what he's done in the here and now.
I think I think
J-Matt,
you
he
I
hasn't
think
fallen off of a cliff.
I think you
He's
guys
hit every rock on the way
are
down.
underestimating. I think people will remember him for his time with the Patriots, and they're gonna think of him just being a mastermind, and they're gonna think of him as a cheater. That is what he's gonna be remembered for.
Yeah,
But
and
like,
then that he fell
but
down the
that's
cliff.
no different than what it was 3 or 4 years ago. I think at the end of the day, 5 years from now who knows how long he's at UNC for? People aren't going to remember UNC as what they think of Belichick. They're going to think of Belichick at the Patriots. They're always going to be tied to the hip. So, like, I think I get what you guys are saying. I think that's what we might remember him as a little bit because the ending was so sour. But I think the majority of people are actually going to remember more of the run in the 2000s and 2010
I
than
don't know,
anything.
man. I don't know, Eric.
We'll see.
I think a lot of people are just stuck in the here and now and don't really remember what the past, unfortunately.
I'd say time is a great equalizer, and you know once this is gone, he's out of the limelight for a number of years. People are going to think a lot more fondly of him than they do right now. So listen,
Well,
he deserves to get crapped on right now. I think we all should be crapping on him, but I do think the tide will turn on this eventually once he is eventually no longer coaching.
Shall
We'll
see.
So
no
there's
see.
more 5 a.m. Nantucket snafus, that's for
but
sure.
but I think it's time for us to go to some oh yeahs. So let's switch it up and let's go to some
Yeah,
positive things.
Oh
let's
yeah.
talk
Oh
positives.
yeah.
The first oh yeah uh
Oh yeah.
goes out to the one and only Hogdale. And fellas, I don't know if you know who
Hogdale.
Hogdale is,
Of
but this
course.
Of
kid
course.
has
Doesn't
bursted
fucking know who
onto the
Hogdale
scene.
is.
It's got to be the second most prominent Red Sox fan now, behind Carabas at this point, I'd say, and has earned himself a job at Barstool Sports with what he's done. Started off at a podcast very similar to what we're doing, Pod by the River,
Shout out
with
to Justin MLB.
shout out Justin, shout out Ed Hand, and I believe a gentleman named Brady who's on that. Well, we've put our pitchforks and swords down with Justin. Something tells
No,
me we'd
we have
probably be
respect.
friends.
We have
Yeah,
respect.
that's what I just said.
I'm agreeing with you. That's all I'm saying. Big
All the
respect.
respect. But the respect really goes to Hogdale because this kid, day in and day out, streamed all the games with the call. A couple weeks ago, got his opportunity to come to Boston and sort of like did the Boston Red Sox car wash in terms of media, with Section 10 being in the booth, all that sort of stuff. And then he got on Portnoy's radar, and here he is, a new hire. An electric call for the Patriots last night in that stream. And it's great to see a kid like that who broke through and is going to be epic at Barstool. Like he is the perfect person to join that world, and become a part of that. And it's exciting for him. It also, like, for all the people that do these sorts of podcasts, where you're like, oh, I'm just like screaming into the void, or like, partly doing it for yourself because it's a passion of yours. Like, and I say it here, like, we do this because we enjoy shooting the shit on Boston sports. And like, one day, if it ever becomes remotely close to the success that Hogdale or anybody else has had, fantastic. Like, we'll get there, and we'll cross those bridges when we get there. But like, keep working at it, keep doing it, because honestly, you never know who's going to see it, and you never know who's going to give you an opportunity to take it to the next level. So congrats to Hogdale, well deserved. Rooting for him, and much success moving forward.
It's weird to feel so like so happy for someone that you don't know, but like yeah,
Yeah,
Hogdale, like he is like it's almost like he's one of us in some way just because of the fact that he comes from a similar background. But yeah, like super proud of the dude, and you know I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the booth at some point later in his career calling Red Sox games or doing something else because he really is electric on the mic.
no doubt. No doubt. And much success to him. And the last, and obviously the most important, we've shined a little bit of light on this throughout the episode, but it's time for the best oh yeah from the weekend that was. The fellas had a chance to make their way down the Route 2 corridor out to Western Mass.
We shipped him out
And
west.
we sure did. He shipped himself out west. And so it was a fantastic wedding weekend for Gabe and the lovely bride, Francesca. Just a beautiful weather, two beautiful souls, great families coming together, great friend groups coming together. It was awesome to really have 48 hours of time for the boys to kick it and enjoy themselves. Uh, Floor is open, boys. Wedding recap, funny moments from the weekend, takeaways. It's all there for you. And as Kraz bounces in and out. Uh, and so anybody can feel free to take it away on the Chapone wedding festivities.
I got one. I think it's a moment after the first look where we're all kind of looking aside and Gabe is seeing Francesca for the first time and we're coming out to take some photos with the couple and Gabe turns around and goes, I guess I cried when I gave my gifts to you guys. I guess I love you guys more, and that to me was just like one of the funniest moments of the weekend. Because obviously we know that Gabe loves Francesca, but it was just like the love for the bros there was just phenomenal. So huge shout out to Gabe and Francesca for a big wedding, and I got a little oh yeah as well for our guy Plotty here for delivering a phenomenal best man speech as well. So just wanna throw that out there as well. It's not often that you talk about your dad getting shot in the ass in a best man speech. So shout out to you, and obviously the horror was amazing. It was just a great weekend all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an incredible time. And shout out to Francesca because the details of the wedding were
Oh,
spot on. You could clearly tell that she had her hand in every aspect of the wedding. So kudos to you, Francesca, for putting your spin on such a beautiful day and weekend. So shout out to you guys. It was incredible weekend.
Yeah, again, hanging out with them. Well, first off, congratulations to them. Hanging out with them for the last however long it's been since they got engaged and seeing Francesca working on all these little projects and kind of seeing everything come to light with what she wanted. It really was something spectacular. But there is one thing I want to shout out to you guys that we are forgetting, and that was the two ladies on the green. Um, and the
ah,
You know what I'm talking about. That for me was the moment of the occasion. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we were just hanging out. We were at the country club. We were all groomsmen, and there were a couple of ladies playing golf, and they said, "Oh, you guys look really good. You're in your tuxes or whatever." And we thought about, they were teeing off right there, and we thought, why not give them a clap?
We'll be the
And
gallery.
and and not only did we get to give them a gallery and give them a hand, but we were telling, get in there, get in there, get in.
Get
So
in the
that was
hole! Get in the hole! Get in the
that
hole!
that for me was great. I love that, and just being with you guys, obviously spending another big chapter for one of the brothers' lives and everyone else's life. It was an amazing experience to be with, and I was very proud and humbled to be a part of it and be with y'all. So a great time.
unbelievable weekend. Appreciate Gabe and Francesca, and I said this in the speech, but Gabe is really the connector of this group.
Hmm.
Growing up with Josh and Eric and going to school with myself and Sam, and he brought us all together many moons ago back on the stoops of Johnson and Wales, and several other occasions as we were growing up, the lake house in Salem, and all these
Hmm.
things over the years that we've gotten to enjoy together that's now blossomed into this podcast really is a credit to Gabe, opening doors to completely different friend groups and bringing them together, which is not something that you see often in life. And so a huge shout out to Gabe from that standpoint. And as you guys said, Francesca just did an unbelievable job with every aspect of the wedding. But she too is a huge reason this podcast exists.
Hmm.
We had no
It's
clue
your
what we
logo
were.
behind you.
Yeah, we had no clue what we were doing to this logo existed before there was even the thought of a podcast. Um, and she kind of behind the scenes was pulling strings and doing some things that whether we kind of knew it or not were leading us towards getting this thing off the ground. And 50 plus episodes in with guests like Dondero, and several others that have been fantastic along the way. She was a catalyst to getting this thing off the ground. So huge shout out to them. We wish them lots of love and happiness and success in the marriage. God damn it, Gabe, we got to get you back on the fucking podcast. So it's been a minute, buddy.
We love you both. We love you both, Gabe and Francesca.
Love you guys.
Love you, dude.
All right, that's oh yeahs and yeah ohs from the weekend. A fantastic one. We're gonna hit the pike, take this baby home. Pats at the Saints, 1 p.m. game on Sunday. Bruins kick off their regular season against the Capitals this Wednesday, 7:30 puck drop. Celtics preseason slate Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Memphis, Toronto, and Cleveland on the schedule for the Celtics, and the MLB playoffs roll along. We'll touch on that next week. Fellas, any parting words? Otherwise, we'll wrap this baby up and call it a day. All
No,
right.
thank you,
Good to see
Dondero, for
everyone's
joining
face.
us. Really appreciate it, Dondero.
And yeah, thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark, great guy. Give him a follow. Be sure to tune in to Patriots postgame each and every week, 98.5 The Sports Hub. For near, far, wherever you are, appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next time here on the Boston Sports Brothers podcast. Till then, see ya.
Peace
Good
out.
night.